What's up YouTube? Welcome to another episode of Blaster Masters. This is the Saint 15. Today I bring you guys a quick mod tutorial and just I'm also doing kind of like a review on some parts from Laser Gnomes, which would be the NERF connector here for a master key. And we're working with the Roughcut 2x4 and a recon barrel. This piece right here, this is what I got from Laser Gnomes. As you guys can see down here, it's got the L for laser and the G for gnomes. So that's the Laser Gnome logo. This one has tactical rails on both sides for dart holders. And down here we got the sliding rail that would be going inside the Roughcut. Over here I have a 3D printed item that's supposed to go inside this mechanism to allow you to remove the trigger, and you'd be able to fire the blaster by simply priming and releasing the priming grip. So yeah, basically what you guys need to do to mod this, you guys don't necessarily need to be installing this. So if you guys are not getting one of these and putting this on, you can still follow this mod tutorial up until I get to that point. Basically you need to remove all the screws on the shell right here. What I do is I draw a template. It's not a very good template, but that just kind of gives me a rough idea of where all the screws go. So that way I know what to put where. These three screws over here are the ones that go on the grip right here, the priming handle. And now that we're here, it's always a good idea to remove parts that could get lost, especially if you guys are going to be painting this blaster. You guys want to remove all these little accessories right here. Don't forget to remove your N-Strike tactical rail little orange piece in the spring. You guys don't want to lose those. I suggest putting them a little bucket or something aside. The rest of these comes out as one single piece. You just slide it up as such. There you go. The rest is just the empty shell, and we're gonna put this aside for now. And let's focus on this part. Now, the only mod that we're going to be doing here, we're not doing an air restrictor removal because that would only cause you to use this as a shotgun and shoot all 8 darts at the same time, and I don't want to do that. I want to keep the smart AR system in there. But I am going to cut the pegs inside so that I can use Stephens. So to do that, just pull apart your plunger from this housing right here. You guys have 4 screws here in the shape of a cross, one at the top, one on the bottom, and 2 on the sides. So I'm gonna do that and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I removed the screws. Once you remove the screws, you'll be able to lift this part up. And I already took some of the springs out, but as you guys can see, there should be the springs here that form part of your air restrictors. So I'm gonna take those out, put them in my little bucket. There you go. And now that this part's missing the springs, we gotta still remove the second part in here. Now I believe they solvent glued this together, so I gotta go boil some water and put this in it so that we can start loosening some of that solvent, and that should make it a lot easier to pull these 2 pieces apart. Alright guys, I put it in boiling water, loosen the solvent weld in it, and then what you need to do is grab your needle nose pliers and start pulling this apart until, or you can start from up here and then a little bit from down here until eventually you can do it from the center and just pull it all completely. Now, as you guys can see, here's the air restrictor pieces. There's actually one stuck inside here. So pliers. There it is. Alright, so make sure you guys don't lose this because you need them. All 8 of them along with the springs. You guys don't want to lose these pieces, so put them aside. Now you got your 3 pieces separate, and as you guys can see, here's the dart posts. So you can grab some little cutting pliers, and you can either try to cut them if you can get in there. Looks like that's not gonna work out with these ones, they're too big. Let me get some smaller ones I have. Just keep recording here at the parts here real quick for a second. Got a little toolkit here. I'm gonna record it for a second. Now these ones right here. This is a little electrical soldering kit. And this comes with a much smaller ones, as you guys can see right here. So let's give it a try with these ones. See if we can get in there and just cut them. Yep, that's gonna work out perfect. Alright, so you guys can see, I just removed one of them. You get that in there. There you go. So you do that for all 8 dart posts. And then once you have done that, you can put these 3 pieces back together, and don't forget to put your air restrictors back in place. Alright guys, just before I forget, you guys can actually open this part right here. It splits down the middle, and if you guys just work at it slowly, let's see, maybe with the help of a flathead screwdriver, help you pry it open a little bit, something like that. Yeah, you guys be really careful so you don't break your blaster. But just keep working at it slowly from different angles, and almost got it completely off. There we go. So now you butterfly this open. As you guys can see, there's a lot of small little holes in this area. So these are fairly easy to cover if you guys just get wipe them down with a little cloth. Right here, I got a little towel. Just wipe it off. If it's still wet from you boiling the water and putting this in it. And then you can get a couple pieces of electrical tape. I got some orange electrical tape right here. It doesn't have to be orange, it's just what I have in hand. And just cut small pieces right here. And just apply it over the hole like that. This one might have been a little bit too long, but it's okay because I'm going to need the other piece for the second hole. So I'm going to cut right about there. There we go. And then you can grab your flathead screwdriver and tuck the rest of the tape in there. Let's move a little bit over to the light. So you guys can see, this is now blending in, covering the hole. Then we'll put another one over the other hole right here. And that looks pretty clean. And you want to do that to both sides of the blaster, or I mean to both sides of the barrels. So we'll get another piece. So apply this over the hole. And you can cut the excess tape. Right there. Tuck in the rest of your tape with your little flathead screwdriver. Go. Something like that. And then cover the second hole. And you have now covered these holes. Next step, put everything back together. Same way you took it all out. Put these two pieces together. Then you put all of your air restrictor pieces back in here. I'm missing one somewhere, probably attached. Oh, I dropped it. Here we go. So now, next part you gotta put back is this one. And you're gonna wanna use quite a bit of pressure to make sure you get this sealed correctly. You want this to be as tight as possible. You can put some glue in it if you want to seal it shut with glue, because there was solvent glue in here before. So I just want to make it as tight as possible. Otherwise, what's the point of covering those holes if you're just gonna let air escape through here? So once you got that, put all your springs back inside the slots. These little springs tend to tangle with each other, but it's really not a problem. Just separate them slowly. And then you can slide this piece where all these little crosses meet with your springs, and add pressure to try to seal it as much as possible from all angles. You want to add even pressure. Looks like I got it pretty good. Next, you guys grab your 4 little screws that were in here and put them all back together.
Do you really need to show this part? Okay.
Not because you're whispering doesn't mean they can't hear you. But yes, anyways, just to quickly be done with this part. You guys just finish putting the screws together, put it back in your shell if you're not painting it, or otherwise you can paint it and wait till that's completed, and then you can put all this back together the same way you took it out. So unless you're doing the same mod where you're gonna install these pieces from Laser Gnomes in there, you guys are pretty much done with this modification. And if you are gonna add this, feel free to keep watching, and we'll get this completed and integrated into this barrel. So I got this whole internal of the Roughcut put back together. Now the next part I'm going to do is going to be installing this auto trigger for the Roughcut. So the first thing you got to do is you need to remove your trigger, just pulling it, and you got to pull and push it down a little bit to release it, and then you can just pull it out. That simple. Now installing this, it's just as simple as you need to prime this a little bit. It's just a very easy step. You prime this a little bit just to release the tension inside this little piece right here that you guys can see I'm moving with my finger. So when you prime this, you guys can see how it moves back a little bit. You want to get the camera angle. You guys can see how it moves when I prime it a little bit. So once you primed it that much, you grab this piece. You guys should see the LG logo in there. You guys can see it right there. It's real hard to see because it's white and the light's pretty bright, but yeah, that's gonna be facing out, and you want this little 3 pointing ends facing down, and you want to put this at an angle in here where you can slide this right in there like that. And as you guys can see, it's now flushed, and that has been installed. It's that simple. So next part, I'm going to put this back together, and then I'm gonna figure out where I'm gonna make my cuts for my integration so I can install this barrel attachment. So I'll be back for you guys when I get more of this completed. Alright guys, what's up? I'm back. I finished with the installation of the auto trigger from Laser Gnomes. So as you guys can see, there's no trigger now. Alright, I haven't put all the screws back together. I got one screw holding the priming handle, and I got this rail kind of holding the top part. So I'm just gonna do a little fire demonstration. I got 8 Stephan darts loaded into the barrel. So I'm gonna be shooting that direction towards the door. And as you guys can see, there's no trigger, so I'm just gonna be priming the blaster to fire it. So yeah, you guys can see, I don't know if you guys caught that on camera, but he shoots pretty hard, and my Stephans are all over the place on the floor. So it appears as is this Laser Gnomes auto trigger works as they advertise. If you guys are interested on that, you guys can buy that from their website. I don't think you can acquire it at eBay anymore. They only sell their 3D printed items online. And the next step will be cutting the shell and integrating it to their 3D printed rail connector for the barrel, top barrel, recon barrel, or retaliator barrel, or long strike barrel. They all work the same way. So once I'm finished with this product, I will come back and do a master key video. But as of right now, this will be the end of the tutorial for the Roughcut modification. Thanks for watching. If you guys like what you see, comment, like, subscribe.